Today, I'll walk you through how to shape the base of a wool felt cat head. This base is essential. It forms the foundation for all facial features later on. We're starting with a round base we prepared in the previous lesson. It should already feel quite firm and even on both sides. Now, let's get into facial shaping. The first thing we'll do is place the eyes. For that, I'm using a pair of model eyes. Glass or resin will both work. Choose ones that match your desired cat's look. Color, shape, and size all matter. We'll position the eyes temporarily using a small amount of glue. You don't need to apply too much at this stage, just enough to hold them in place while we shape around them. This is just a placeholder. Later, once we've built up more volume, we may remove the eyes and reinsert them for final alignment and depth. A quick tip: the correct distance between the eyes is usually about 1.2 eye widths. That means, imagine the width of one eye and leave just a little extra space in between. Use a heat-erasable pen to lightly mark where the inner and outer corners of the eyes should be. Keep checking symmetry from the front and top views. It really matters. Now, let's move on to shaping the eyelids. We'll begin with the upper eyelid. For this step, I'm using soft white staple fiber wool. It blends well and is flexible enough to layer smoothly. Pull out a small amount of wool and gently stretch it to loosen the fibers. Then fold it in half. This helps us layer evenly. Lay the wool gently over the top half of the eye. We're not going for final thickness yet, just building the initial structure. Poke gently along the edges, pressing the wool to the base while wrapping over the eye. Don't worry about perfect lines at this stage. We'll refine the shapes as we add more layers. Now, take another thin layer and repeat the process, but this time wrapping the outer edge of the eyelid to give it a fuller curve. The outer corner, or eye tail, usually has a soft lift, while the inner corner, or eye tip, is slightly tapered. If the wool doesn't cover evenly, just add another thin strip and blend it in. It's always better to layer slowly than to use too much at once. This gives you more control and prevents clumps. Let's repeat the same steps on the other eye. Use the same amount of wool to maintain symmetry. Match the curve and height of the eyelids and keep checking from the front and side angles to catch any differences early. After both upper lids are shaped, we'll move on to the lower eyelids. The process is similar. Take a small amount of wool, stretch and fold, then place it just under the eye. Lower lids are typically a bit thicker near the outer corners. So again, start light and layer. This is where the cheeks will connect later, so don't be afraid to build up gradually. Remember, cats have pronounced cheekbones. You can enhance this area by adding extra layers beneath the eye. I usually build this part up in 3 steps: a soft base layer, a second layer for volume, and a final layer to round out the curve. Every time you add wool, take a moment to poke it into place evenly. Avoid poking too hard in one spot. That can cause dense or uneven texture. Use the single needle for detailed shaping and switch to a double needle tool for faster coverage. Once both eyes are framed and the lids are shaped, take a step back and check the proportions. You want the face to feel balanced, not too wide, not too narrow. If needed, add a bit more volume to one side to correct the symmetry. At this point, we've completed the initial facial shaping around the eyes. It may not look perfect yet, and that's okay. This is a base layer, and we'll refine the details more in the next lessons. Let's take a quick look at what we've done so far. We prepared the round base, placed the eyes, built upper and lower eyelids, and started creating the underlying facial structure. In the next lesson, we'll define the nose, cheeks, and forehead area, which will really bring the cat's expression to life. See you in the next one.